What is up, everybody? We had WWE Smackdown tonight, and this was the go home episode before WWE's Elimination Chamber. So, welcome to WWE Smackdown Explained, the weekly video series where we take a look at the major events from tonight's show. We see how some of these things may affect future storylines, where WWE may or may not be going with some of this stuff, and we take a look to see how things are starting to take shape as we head down the road to WrestleMania. Before we get into it though, if you like wrestling content, and I know that you do because you're already here, consider hitting that subscribe button. We post a lot of fun videos on this channel, and I'm sure you're bound to find something that you like if you just take a moment to look around. Now let's talk wrestling. The whole thing with Jey Uso being attacked, I think that it was perfectly clear that Jey Uso just wasn't supposed to win that qualifying match on Monday. I think that by taking him out of the match, it shows that WWE made an obvious pivot during that match. Bronson Reed was supposed to win that match because of the injury. He didn't. So in the moment, they called it for Jey Uso to win. Great, get out of that match. And then they had some time to think about how to take Jey Uso out of this. I don't know what their plan is for Jey Uso, but it obviously wasn't being part of the chamber. Him being taken out of that match, having that qualifying match between Logan Paul and Jacob Fatu, I think that was super smart on Triple H's part, or whoever came up with that idea. I think that was a really smart idea because, especially the way that the match ended tonight, it still leaves the door open for Jacob Fatu to be involved in this title match, to be involved in the title scene, regardless of who wins the Elimination Chamber. And if you've seen my predictions video, you know I think it'll be Cody Rhodes. I think that Jacob Fatu, because he was attacked by Drew McIntyre here and his chances were completely washed away by Drew McIntyre, I think that Jacob Fatu has a rightful claim for this title. I think that after that match is said and done, after the Elimination Chamber is said and done, Jacob Fatu can go to Nick Aldis. He can say, look, I was supposed to be in this match. I wasn't in this match because of Drew McIntyre. And I think it's super justifiable that Nick Aldis makes that a triple threat match, which is what I've been thinking was going to happen this entire time. I've been saying that this needs to be a triple threat match. I do think that we're going to see some sort of character shift from Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania in this match. We're going to see something happen, right? Whether he's the person that attacked Jacob Fatu or he's the person that attacked Jey Uso, I don't know. But I don't think that it's Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre came out after Jey Uso was attacked, and he said that he wasn't the attacker, that he wasn't Jey Uso's attacker. And you know what? I believe him. He said the same thing when Jacob Fatu was attacked. And Drew McIntyre is a lot, but when he shoots at someone, when he takes a shot at someone, he comes right out and says it. He does not hide behind lies. He does not fabricate stories. If he wants to go after you, he says that he goes after you. And if he doesn't, then he doesn't. So I actually believe Drew McIntyre here, and I do think that we're building to some sort of story. Again, I don't know if Cody Rhodes is supposed to be that attacker. Maybe it's Sami Zayn, right? We saw that whole thing with Sami Zayn and Jacob Fatu backstage tonight too. I feel like we're getting something. We're getting something from Sami Zayn. It's been very disappointing the last couple of weeks after he confronted Cody Rhodes, and then after, that was last week, and then this week he confronted Jacob Fatu. He kind of went off on them. He kind of, got angry, yelled at them, blamed them for a lot of things, and then immediately after, he just apologized. We saw that again tonight. But I do think that WWE is working towards something. I do think that Sami Zayn will eventually snap, and we're going to get a very different Sami Zayn. I'm ready for a heel Sami Zayn. I loved that Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn during the pandemic. The conspiracy theory Sami Zayn. I love that heel character. I think that Sami Zayn is honestly a much better heel than he is a face. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I'm ready. I'm ready for heel Sami Zayn. In the main event, right, as we all saw, it was Jacob Fatu versus Logan Paul. We got an unveiling of this masked man. I don't think that was the actual masked man. I do think that this was a red herring. This was a decoy. And tomorrow night at the Elimination Chamber, we're going to get a masked man reveal. I feel like this is why we needed a member in the Vision as part of the Elimination Chamber, which is why we kind of circumvented that. We got Logan Paul in there because we are going to get a masked man attack at the Elimination Chamber, and maybe we'll get a face reveal. I feel like we need to start building that match for WrestleMania with whoever it is at this point, because the Vision is hanging on by a thread. So maybe it's against Logan Paul. I don't know, but I do think that we're going to get a reveal tomorrow night at the Elimination Chamber. One more thing that I have to say about the Vision, though, is that I absolutely love what they're doing with Austin Theory's character. He's kind of just like doing that thing that if you're an Attitude Era guy, if you're that like cusp between Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression, when Stone Cold went heel and he was part of Vince McMahon's, faction, part of the corporation, whatever they were called, he would just repeat the last thing that was said. We saw a little bit of that tonight with Austin Theory, and I really liked it. It made me laugh. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago when he couldn't open the door to get out? Now I'm starting to think that that was on purpose. Now I'm starting to think that this is his character, and I'm kind of enjoying it. I kind of like this like goofy, a little bit silly Austin Theory who still gets like super angry and super aggressive, but does these like little subtle silly things that really make me laugh. I don't know if I'm a minority, if I'm in the minority. Let me know in the comments what you think, but I think that Austin Theory's character is really growing on me. I know that in previous videos, I've talked about how WWE loves to just put people in the ring before a big match, hand them all a microphone, have them talk and beat each other up. And that's totally what they did here again tonight. But I actually kind of enjoyed that. I thought that having that last moment between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes is also telling of something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's going to be. I do feel like we're probably going to get a moment at the Elimination Chamber. They'll probably be the last two people in the ring. They'll probably be the last two people standing. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, they're definitely setting something up for the future. How far in the future, I don't know. I don't think that this would be a WrestleMania match, considering, Drew McIntyre having the championship, Cody Rhodes being a part of the whole, challenging Drew McIntyre thing. He's part of the Elimination Chamber, obviously, but he's had, this months-long story with Drew McIntyre. So it's like, it feels obvious to me that we would get a Cody Rhodes winning the Elimination Chamber. So we wouldn't get that match between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes quite yet. If Cody Rhodes doesn't win it, honestly, my second favorite person to win it, the second person that I think is the most obvious to win it, would be Randy Orton. So we still wouldn't get that match unless that's a triple threat match. Maybe we get a fatal four-way. I don't know. There's a whole lot of stories going on here. It's clear that after tomorrow night's show, after tomorrow night's Elimination Chamber, we're going to get a lot of answers for what WrestleMania is going to look like, right? WrestleMania is definitely going to start to take shape tomorrow, and a lot of gaps are going to start to get filled in here with matches, with wrestlers, with feuds. So yeah, tomorrow's definitely a big day for WWE. We're also going to get whatever's in that box reveal. The box was there again tonight. I don't know why. We all saw Adam Pearce tell whoever delivered it to send it to Chicago. They weren't in Chicago tonight, but the box was there. Whatever. Who cares? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get from there. If you saw my predictions video, I thought we were going to get a podium for the draft. But then I see that Danhausen is no longer an AEW wrestler, so maybe we'll get Danhausen. I don't know. Listen, I have to calm down because this happens every time. We get excited. We think we're going to get something huge at the next PLE, and WWE just lets us down. So I'm going to lower my expectations and hope that WWE surprises me. I also want to say from that segment when they were on the ring is that I hope WWE knows what they have in Trick Williams. Trick Williams has the potential to be the next face of the company, the next QB1, the next person on all the posters, the next person that carries the company for a whole generation, their next John Cena, their next Dwayne The Rock Johnson, their next Stone Cold Steve Austin, whatever you want it to be. Trick Williams is that guy. I know that we're all looking at Obafemi, and yes, Obafemi is absolutely going to be a figurehead for the WWE. He is this generation's Goldberg. Everything about him. I hope that we make a streak a thing for Obafemi. I hope that he's the person that challenges Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and just destroys him, right? Yes, he's great. So is Javon Evans, right? Javon Evans is absolutely going to be the face of this company. He is so young and so talented, but Trick Williams has that something that I just hope WWE doesn't mess up. he just has that something that makes people interested in wrestling, right? Like I can see someone just accidentally tuning a TV to USA one week and being like, "Who is this? And why am I interested?" He can make new WWE fans, and WWE needs to not mess that up. Him and LA Knight having that moment tonight made me want that match. We're probably not going to get it. I do think we're going to get a Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn match maybe at WrestleMania, but that whole thing made me really interested. But I also don't know who LA Knight faces at this point because I don't think he's winning the Chamber. I don't know. I don't know. I again left with more questions than answers, and we're definitely going to get some answers tomorrow night at the Elimination Chamber. Let's talk about Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax before we speed run some of what happened tonight. But yeah, I kind of expected this to happen as well. I expected Rio to lose the championships. I mean, we're heading into WrestleMania. They're both definitely going to head into some sort of singles feuds. I don't know what we get from Io Sky. I do think, well, for one, Io Sky isn't in the chamber. Rhea Ripley is. I do think that Rhea Ripley is going to win the Elimination Chamber. I just feel like it's a much more interesting match to have Rhea Ripley face Jade Cargill than having Tiffany have a rematch against her. I don't think their initial match was that great. And you know what? Quite frankly, if we get a Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill, I'd have Jade Cargill win. I don't know why. I just think that Jade Cargill needs it more than Rhea Ripley. I loved the way Jade looked last week against Jordynne Grace. I think she looked really good in the ring. I think having her decisively win that match was the right call. I don't know. I feel like Jade beating Rhea Ripley would be the right call if that's the match, right? Especially considering everything that happened with Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green tonight. So Tiffany Stratton had that match with Kairi Sane, which was just supposed to be, I don't know, hey, preview to the elimination chamber, because they had teased Asuka instead of Kairi, but Asuka, being the heelish heel that she is, she sacrificed her friend, basically, is what she did. So Tiffany had that match with Kairi. She then had that moment with Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green came out to watch her match, which I guess they did have that moment last week when Tiffany beat who's the Alba Fire? Sorry, I forgot her name. When Tiffany beat Alba Fire last week, Chelsea Green was ringside. So I guess they did share that moment. So maybe they're like building some sort of story between them. Let's not forget that these two women absolutely killed it 2 years ago at Money in the Bank, right? There was that moment where like, oh, who's going to win? Is it going to be Tiffany? Is it going to be Chelsea? And we were cheering for either of them, right? So I think that that's the feud that we're going to get at WrestleMania. Hopefully Chelsea Green is healed up by then and we're not building towards something that we can't get. So I think that that's what we're building towards. So Tiffany Stratton isn't winning the Elimination Chamber. Anyway, what was I saying? We had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defending their tag team titles tonight against Lash Legend and Nia Jax. What are they called? The unstoppable force, the immovable objects. What are they called? I don't remember what they're called. What are they called? I had to pause my recording to go look. They're called the irresistible forces. I think that it was the right call to have them win the tag team titles. Yes, like I said, I don't know what Io Sky is going to do for WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley, I do feel like, is going to challenge Jade Cargill for her title. Io, I'm assuming, is going to have some other singles match. I don't know. Maybe she gets involved in this match. Maybe it's a triple threat match, right? Maybe Io turns on Rhea, and that's the match that we get. I don't know. But I think that this was the right move so that they wouldn't hold those tag team titles hostage as Rhea Ripley builds that title match for WrestleMania against Jade. So I think that this was the right call. Look, I still want to see my multi-team tag team match, a ladder match at WrestleMania. I need it. I need a women's TLC, especially after this match. We had a backstage segment with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. We have depressed Charlotte, right? Who's totally fine. She's totally fine. She's fine with the fact that another tag team won the tag team titles. She's totally fine that her best friend is in the Elimination Chamber, but not her. She's fine, guys. She's fine. She ate 3 pints of ice cream, but she's fine. Which, who of us haven't eaten 3 pints of ice cream? Am I right? So I'm hoping we get some sort of women's TLC match. Look, I keep thinking also that we're gonna get Alexa Bliss taking Julia's US title at some point, because they had that moment backstage as well when Chelsea and Alexa Bliss were kind of chatting about things. They got interrupted by Kiana James and Julia. They're a tag team, but also Kiana James is in the Elimination Chamber. They then got interrupted by Jade Cargill, which was a thread throughout the entire night. She was trolling everyone, right? She was trolling them. She had a moment at some point backstage where she confronted, who did she talk to? I forget who she was talking to about. Oh, Raquel Rodriguez. She interrupted Raquel Rodriguez's interview to basically be like, dude, Liv doesn't care about you and you're not going to win tomorrow. But then she was interrupted by Michin and BFAB. And that was a sad moment because I feel like they were expecting a pop and there was nothing. There was silence and it hurt to watch. I feel like they do deserve better. It's not their fault. It's just WWE just hasn't been booking them well. So what do we have to be excited about? Just a couple of goons that Jade's just gonna destroy week after week leading up to WrestleMania again? Yeah, I don't think that that's gonna happen. I don't think that that's anything to cheer for. But yeah, Michin and BFAB are back to keep Jade busy until WrestleMania, I guess. Solo Sikoa versus Uncle Howdy. I think that everything about this match was the right call. I think that Uncle Howdy beating Solo Sikoa in a one-on-one match where no one got involved was the right call. I think that having the MFTs attack Uncle Howdy and not let him take the lantern with him was also the right call. I listen. I think that either Uncle Howdy versus Solo Sikoa in a one-on-one match or a faction versus faction match, some sort of hardcore match, some sort of Hell in a Cell match, some sort of something match at WrestleMania would be absolutely amazing. I do think that this story is strong enough to carry a WrestleMania match. I do think that this story is strong enough to go on for another, 2 months now until WrestleMania. So I hope that that's the way that WWE is going. I said before in my preview video, in my SmackDown preview video, that I needed this match to not go the Uncle Howdy way. I didn't need him to win. And it turns out that I was wrong. Perfectly fine that he won, but I think the fact that he didn't take the lantern, that he was about to, and then was attacked, and then the lantern left with the MFTs again, I think that that was the right call. So I hope that we're going to get some sort of program for WrestleMania between some combination of either Uncle Howdy or the Wyatt Six versus either Solo or the MFTs, right? I need to see that at WrestleMania. Yeah, color me excited for that. Some of the other things that happened tonight, we had Oba Femi versus The Miz. Yeah, that went exactly the way we all thought it would. I love the way that they're building Oba Femi. I love the way that they're giving him the mic. It shows that he's not only a powerhouse in the ring, he's great on the mic. He can be funny. He can be scary. He can be everything you need from just a superstar. And that is absolutely what Oba Femi is. I hope that they keep building a streak for him. I hope that he doesn't lose until 2 WrestleManias from now, right? I want them to build Oba Femi as they built, the same way that they built Goldberg in WCW back in the 90s, right? I want a streak. I want a 107-0 Oba Femi streak. I want him to answer Brock Lesnar's open challenge at WrestleMania, and I want him to destroy Brock Lesnar. I want that match to be a squash match where Oba Femi just shot puts him. He gives him the power bomb. What is it called? I don't know. South of Heaven. What is it called? I don't remember. No, it's not called South of Heaven. Whatever. He gives him his power bomb. 1, 2, 3. Oba Femi wins. It needs to just be an absolute squash for Oba Femi over Brock Lesnar, I think. We got Carmelo Hayes versus Matt Cardona. They're definitely building something between Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov. I don't know when that'll pay off, though. Ilya Dragunov obviously is still hosting the U.S. title open challenge. He won, of course. He beat Matt Cardona. If you didn't know, why are you watching this video, first of all? But he beat Matt Cardona. But the whole story there was Ilya Dragunov was he wanted Ilya Dragunov to answer the challenge. Ilya Dragunov is like, look, dude, I haven't earned it. I need to work my way up. I haven't won a match in a while, and I need to work my way up in order to challenge you again. I will challenge you again, just not now. I don't know. I don't know how we get Ilya Dragunov there. I don't know what story we can tell with Ilya challenging a bunch of jobbers. I just don't know how we get him there, but it's definitely the story that we're planning to tell with Carmelo Hayes in the US title. We'll see. We'll see how we get there. Maybe we get a heel turn by Ilya. I don't see that happening either, but I don't know. I don't know how we're going to get there. I do think that Tama Tonga should be the person to dethrone Carmelo Hayes for the US title. So I don't think that Ilya Dragunov is the right call if that's what they're trying to do. But again, I feel like a lot of things are going to start to make sense after this week. We also got Jordynne Grace versus Candice LeRae in a whatever match, right? We're trying to get Jordynne Grace's aura back after losing to Jade Cargill last week. I think it's the right call to have her just win against a bunch of mid-carders, against a bunch of jobbers. They also didn't have to, but they even protected Candice LeRae here because, of course, we know the whole Johnny Gargano thing, laying down everywhere, planking everywhere, like it was the mid-2000s. Again, he got up, he walked away, Candice LeRae got distracted, Jordynne Grace got the win. Again, they didn't have to do that, but you know what? I don't know what they're going to do with Johnny Gargano. I do feel like Johnny Gargano is leaving as soon as his contract is over. He's going to go join his boy Tommaso Ciampa at AEW. And honestly, that's the right call for him. It's the right call for him. There you have it. It was a really fun SmackDown tonight. I thought it was very good. It was the best SmackDown in a while. 7 matches tonight. A lot of fun. We had a lot of fun segments. We're building stories. WrestleMania is just starting to take shape, and I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I feel like we're going to get the actual Masked Man reveal tomorrow at the Elimination Chamber. I hope we get something fun coming out of that crate as well. Let me know in the comments what you think's in the box, because I don't know. I went with something that I think is very wrong now, which was a draft podium, but maybe we're going to get Danhausen. I don't know. I just hope that WWE doesn't let us down once again. But yeah, no, tonight's show definitely felt like we're on the road to WrestleMania, and it was about damn time. You know, WWE programming just felt like they didn't know what direction they were going in, and maybe they weren't, but it feels like they finally are starting to figure it out, and really good show tonight. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Listen, since you've made it this far, make sure to drop a like, make sure to hit subscribe, make sure to do all the things. Check out some of my older videos. Check out my WWE Elimination Chamber predictions. It's going to be somewhere on the screen. Click on that. It's a fun video. Let me know how wrong my predictions are. Right? It's going to be a lot of fun on Sunday when you're all commenting like, ha, you were wrong. Go ahead. Tell me how wrong I am. I don't care. Anyway, though, as always, until next time, have a nice day.